Right, Kieran, great to see you. The away form obviously hasn't been ideal this season, so how do you rate a week in which you go to Fulham, get a win in the FA Cup, and then of course that tremendous win over Villa as well?
Yeah, like I say, it's not been the best this season, but we knew that, and we've talked a lot about the second half of the season, about having a strong second half of the season, and we started that with Fulham and Villa, two tough games, but two massive wins for us to build that momentum.
And of course, Blackburn is the draw for the next round. How important is an FA Cup run now to the team, given what's happening in the League Cup, given what's happening in the Champions League as well?
Yeah, I think every competition is always important. Obviously, we're not in those two anymore, so the FA Cup gives us a good time to reflect on how far we can go, and we've talked about that. And FA Cup's always special. Even me, when I was growing up, it's always been a big competition. So, of course, we want to go far, we want to win it, but we've got Blackburn next.
And then, of course, at Fulham, nice to see a familiar face in the crowd in Alan Shearer. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I see it, to be fair, after. I think I see him talking about it on his podcast. So, no, of course, it's, he's a Newcastle through and through, so it's always good to see those scenes.
Just on the Villa game, what did the performance, as well as the results, say about the team? You've talked to me before about this team bouncing back and enjoying having your backs against the walls. Was that the very epitome of Newcastle United on Tuesday?
No, definitely. We've faced so many challenges, and I've talked many times before, is how you react to them. And we've got a good togetherness in this squad. We react very well in tough situations, and it's not an easy place to go. Villa are a top side, so to go there and perform like we did, and go man for man and be brave, in which we were, to play the way we did is credit to the lads.
And of course, Fabi Schär with another 2 goals to add to his resume. I mean, £3 million he costs. Is there a better bargain in football that you can think of?
I think him and Seamus Coleman are probably up there, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think Fabi's a top player. I think he's been here for a long time now, and the quality and the composure he has on the ball, and quality player.
One other thing to digest just off the pitch on Tuesday night, Bruno swapping his shirt for I think it was a Kinder Bueno anyway, it was a chocolate bar. Did he share it around the dressing room or not?
He needs to stop eating chocolate, doesn't he, Bruno? I see somebody mentioned that the other day, about him swapping something for some chocolate or something, but that's Bruno for you.
It was a result that rounded off can we describe January as crazy, considering all of the links surrounding players? What was that like for you guys, behind the training ground walls, to have a lot of players, shall we say, linked with moves away from the club?
You know what, this is football. It's it's a transfer window. Everybody's linked away.
Yeah.
There's always speculation, but in ours, everything was just calm and relaxed. I'm going to be honest with you, it generally were, and nobody was, throwing the toys out of the pram or anything. Everybody was committed. Everybody was ready for the games coming up. Big 2 games, as we spoke about just before the Fulham game. So, no, everything was calm and relaxed, really.
And of course, you were linked with the move to Bayern. It was absolutely everywhere. Can you just clarify what happened with that, Kieran, or not?
Well, Bayern put a couple of bids in and he got turned down. So. Can't put it any more simple than that, really. I was relaxed about everything, committed, as I've always said when I first arrived until now, and I had plenty of chats with the manager and everything was fine.
You were obviously the first to join the project a couple of years ago. How important is it to you that you see this project out towards the back end of your career?
No, 100%, and I've spoke about that, and the owners and everybody associated with the club have great ambitions for this club and where they want to take this club. And I think in the past two and a bit years, you see how far that we've come. So, I dare to think what this club's going to be like in 10 years from now. But no, of course, as I've said many times, I said when I first arrived, and I'll say it again now, is how committed I am to the club. Never once wanted to leave. Never asked to leave. The manager knows that anyway.
Yeah.
The owners know that. So. And my teammates, most importantly, know that. So just looking forward to finishing this second half of the season strong.
Because there was that period, of course, where there were a few struggles. What was that like for you personally? And could you enjoy your football during that time or not?
Yeah, I always enjoy it. Even when you go through tough moments, I've got the right people around me. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I've got the manager to lean on to speak to, my players, my teammates. But of course, you still enjoy football. You know, I've made a mistake. You know, obviously, let the supporters down in December, but they know, you know, I'm trying to do the best. Never going into any game intentionally to make a mistake. But you know, that's gone now. I'm looking forward, positive as always, and looking to finish the second half of the season strong, as I said before.
Can you clarify what turned it round for you? What kind of moment turned it round or not?
There's no moment. It's all about, you know, when things are going well for you and you watch clips and stuff, you've also got to watch them when they're not going so well. So you got to always analyse yourself, and that's what I do always. So I trying to find the way why I was making mistakes, you know, but it's just about going back to basics, watch where I went wrong and, you know, put it right.
You mentioned the fans there. I can't remember what game it was at, but there was one home game where you went over to take a corner, I think, and the entire Gallagher just started chanting Kieran Trippier over the wall. You hadn't done anything really, it was just to show their support for you. What is that like, even for a player as experienced as you, to kind of experience something like that and that level of support?
It's amazing, and to be fair, even in December when I wasn't going through the greatest form, the fans were unbelievable with me, especially, you know, the game that springs to mind with Luton away as well. Yeah. The fans were top, even around the city as well. You know, so I've always praised the fans, because even through the tough moments, they're always there. Even in December when it was, I think we played like 4 or 5 games in down south in London. Yeah. It's not easy to travel, so the supporters deserve huge credit, and we value them so much, especially here at Newcastle.
You've talked before about the kind of drop in standards that Newcastle as a team went through as well. Is there a feeling that those standards are starting to rise again, and that we are starting to see the real Newcastle United once more? Yeah,
hopefully. You know, obviously we all know, for me personally and as a collective, that December wasn't good enough. Yeah. Now it's, you know, a new year. You know, second half of the season we need to finish it strong, and we're only going to get better and stronger when the players return from injury. You know, Barnsley, Wills, Elliot, Joe, I could name about 10, as you know. So, but yeah, I think it's been a bit disappointing that we're not being able to have the full squad together. You know, if you look at the first game of the season against Villa, we were strong. You look at the bench, it was strong. Yeah. But now we're missing about 9-10 players. So, yeah, I can't wait for all of us to be back together, and then that's when you see the full Newcastle. It's getting there slowly but surely. The players start to come back. But this is football, you know. You have injuries. Yeah. But for us, it's been difficult and hard because it's been a longer term injuries for every individual. So, but I know they're all working so hard behind the scenes to get back. They're all itching to be back on the pitch. So, yeah, we'll welcome them back with open arms when they come back. Hopefully a couple more back, maybe for Luton tomorrow. It's a tough one, isn't it? As was shown down at Kenilworth Road, the no mess arounds this season. No. Was that one of the lowest points of the season, that defeat down at Kenilworth Road, would you say? I wouldn't say the lowest point, but ultimately you've always got to respect that. Yeah. You know, you've got to respect every opposition for one, and if you think you're going to go to Luton away and you think, you're going to get the 3 points, you know, you're mistaken, because that is a tough place to go. So, you know, they have their ways of play where they make it difficult, you know, physical. And it was a tough game. But obviously it was a low point for us, of course it were, but ultimately you've always got to respect your opposition. How good is it going to be to be back at home after this run of away games against a side that, you know, there will be a natural element of you that is wanting a little bit of revenge for what happened down there? No, of course they beat us, and, you know, I think they deserved it on the day. But it's good to be back home, you know, with our supporters. They've been travelling a lot the past 6 weeks, so, you know, hopefully we can give them something to cheer about tomorrow and get the 3 points. Just finally, Kieran, bearing in mind where Newcastle are now, off the back of these 2 excellent results, what do you think is going to represent success by the end of this season? Still in the FA Cup, like we've talked about, still within a shot of the European place in the Premier League. Yeah, we're still in a good position in the league. Under the circumstance that we had a bit of a tough December. We've talked about silverware, we was close last year. Yeah, like I said, we want to go find the FA Cup. You know, it's a historic cup to win. And like you said, you know, Champions League spaces, you know, it's only like 9 points away. And in the European places. So there's still so much to achieve, and that's down to us what we want. You know, how hungry are we to get in that European places for next season and to try and lift the cup.